So when I was a little kid, I wanted nothing more than to experience the feeling of going to college and just enjoying the college experience. But as I'm getting older and older and actually getting closer to college, like the more I realized like how much of a stupid idea that was of just banking all my chips for college. Back in the day, college really was something that was used as like a reward on your table. Like, hey, I'm successful. And it basically just says that in bold text. Like, hey, I'm successful. It tells everybody around. But now it's kind of like a black hole that just popped up on your desk telling you, hey, I'm a sucker versus, hey, I'm successful like it used to. And it's kind of like a black hole that steals your future from you. Now, a lot of people that are able to get like scholarships and whatnot, of course, they're kind of exempt from this, but the other 90% of Americans that have to pay for college are going to be met with the fact that they're going to put their life into a perpetual struggle, just trying to pay off the debt that's associated with college. And the second they sign that paper of like, hey, we're taking this shit on, that's officially kind of like signing their life away. And of course, as like young adults, you're gonna be out on the world on your own for like the first time, so that's stressful enough for you. But you also have to put yourself into like a lifetime's worth of debt. That's five, even six figures for a lot of these places, just because that business degree sounded nice. It really is just the biggest waste of money, though, in existence, and more importantly, it's a bigger waste of time from your life, one of the most important times of your life as a young adult who's supposed to be building something up from the ground up. These are the years that you're supposed to be building your foundation to craft, of course, your eventual success as a young adult. And many of these people are just unconsciously walking into a lifetime worth of debt, unfortunately, just following the path that was laid out with college. Kind of that whole experience, which is just at this point turned into degeneracies and frat houses and getting trains ran on them. Now, it really is kind of just one of the biggest wastes of money, but a waste of time is the biggest thing that does correlate with this, unfortunately. But yeah, like I said, you'll be able to experience a lot of the fun things, that college has, the late nights, to get drunk with the boys and all that type of stuff. But as someone who never went and I'll like miss out on a lot of that stuff, like I'm also going to be missing out on the giant debt that a lot of people have to kind of partake in. So, hey, I guess I'm fine missing out on the college experience, quote unquote. So, of course, in reality, in the year of like 2026 at this point, you getting a degree is going to be great, of course, for like decorating the office space or something. But at the end of the day, it's kind of just like a piece of paper when you sit back and think about it. And with the world shifting into like the AI mindset of actual productivity, like you really have to bring in some true inherent value. You can't really just rely on a piece of paper to do it for you. Which brings me to my next point of like, even of the people that are getting through school, spending all this money, they can't even get a job, in the line of work that they went into school for. They study all this time for that single craft, but unfortunately, it didn't pan out. It's a employer's market, unfortunately. And with most people, they eventually just get to the point where they give up on the chosen route that they spent hundreds, tens of thousands of dollars on, and just come to the realization that they wasted all that time and money and just take on a different route. And with Indeed and LinkedIn having these like ghost jobs, of course, it is hard to find a real job. And when you do find a real job, they're going to have 1,500 applicants for that single position. Like, it is, like I said, definitely an employer's market at the moment, which leaves the new generation now feeling lost, kind of lost in the sauce. I'll be honest, when it comes to planning their future, they plan their future. What more can you ask for them? But the future did not have plans for them, unfortunately. And even the ones that do get a job, they got to come to a point of realization that eventually, like no matter what line of work that they're in, like there is going to be a limit to just what they got. Like even in the hardest working, highest paying positions, like a doctor or like a lawyer, even they have limits on their income, even though it is very high. So no matter what actual profession you choose to go to college for, you will hit a cap on it, on how much you'll be able to earn in said profession, whether that be something small like a 20K a year salary or a cap that's like a 200K a year. Whatever it is, every single job that's in that 9 to 5 style, the employer-employed style, will have a cap on its income. And if you look at the chart of like the richest people in the world, Where do you see the working person fit in this chart? You don't. A working person is someone who will never get rich in today's economy. And of course, in today's economy, if you're not rich, you're broke as hell.
Is it talking about me?
And of course, there's still professions. Like, I'm not just completely throwing college to the wayside, because there are still places that need it, like certain professions that need degrees. Like if you're going to be that doctor, lawyer, space engineer, rocket scientist type of deal, of course, go to college. You'll need to do it, like, and actually use that degree. But you see, like, people going to school for like art. They're going to school for cosmetology. I'll take it a step further. You see people going to school for finance, for business. Like, gang, I'm not gonna lie, you're wasting your time and you're wasting your money. What are we doing with our life? A lot of that stuff you can do without any type of business degree. Like, you don't have to be a pro in finances to have a finance degree. Or not a finance degree, but a idea of how to work finances. And same thing with business. You don't need to be a business guru who knows all these terms. You could just be all right getting started today. Honestly, you're better off getting started earlier. Now, my point is that everybody can get a degree, but honestly, most people in today's economy shouldn't, because it's going to bankrupt them. And they're not even going to need it anyways, unless they are that doctor, lawyer type of figure. Now, entrepreneurship is going to be way more alive. And then that makes us bring, like, where does that leave you in the job market? What are you even supposed to do? And from what I've learned in the recent years is that you don't have to work for somebody else if you work for yourself. And that's why you see all the finance bros, hitting that entrepreneurship hard as hell. And a lot of them, of course, they do have the right idea, just very bad planning, very bad execution, unfortunately, because they're not really thinking it out. But it's the right idea in today's day and age, because at the end of the day, spending the time to get the experience will be better than any credential that you could put up on your wall. Personally, I didn't go to college. And for the past 2 years, I've been more so actually building the business from the ground up instead of going to college. So for 2 years, I went and built a business versus spending 4 to learn how to build a business and kind of run a team. And I guarantee you that in those past 2 years, I actually learned more about business than the people who spent those 4 years in a business class. Like, of course, yeah, they know more about like the terminology that I don't know of, like X, Y, and Z and rebates and all that type of stuff. But after their 4 years of college, they'll have zero real world experience how to actually run and manage a business and have to start from scratch. Whereas, you get out of 4 years, you have the business built up and you've already started from day one. And when it comes to like the little things of business, beating adversities, overcoming challenges, organizing people around, they end up lost in the sauce because this is their first time around doing that. Whereas, I've been spending the better part of 2 years figuring out how my losses happened, figuring out how to overcome those losses, and figuring out how to move forward after the fact. Now, that's the difference between school, which kind of feels like an analysis paralysis circle jerk, versus, hey, I got an idea, I got a plan, let's get right to it. Honestly, you're better off doing that. Now, with parents, of course, they try to push you away from that stuff, but that's more of like a product of the times. Now, back in the day, for their time, going to college worked. They could go to college, get themselves a good job, and get themselves a mortgage off of that, but it's just the test of time. Unfortunately, that system that was built on and literally worked for better part of 100, 150 years, fortunately, it just came to an end. It doesn't work anymore in today's day and age, so you got to be a little bit more adaptable in what you do, which can't hold it against your parents because it did work for them and they think they're giving you good advice, but unfortunately it's outdated. And that's really the reality of the fact. Like I said, the best thing you could do for yourself is to sell yourself, not like a prostitute or nothing, but for yourself in like the business sense. It's better to do it for yourself versus, selling yourself to these mega conglomerate companies that were gonna pay you $20 an hour anyways. And what I mean by that specifically is like, go out there, learn a trade for yourself. For myself, I did sales, which is something that's not going to be able to be replaced by AI, something you could grow an agency out of, that type of work. But for you, it might be something a little more your taste, welding, mechanical work. I've seen people do moving companies and that sort of stuff, power washing, whatever works for you. But whatever it is, you need to figure out that number one, you enjoy it, because if you don't enjoy it, it's not going to be a long-term deal. And number two, you need to make sure that, like I said, it's not going to be replaced by AI. Fortunately, with sales, that's something that won't be replaced by AI, just by the fact of like, you got to have a level of trust to buy something, but you got to make sure when you're looking for your thing that there won't be anything where AI can take it. And if there is, A, be the one that sets the systems up in place so you could profit off of it. Point being is you need to create something for yourself. Otherwise, you're going to just repeat the cycle, the circle jerk that your parents and their parents before them came for, and the parents before them, where they're just living, working, dying. We're living, working, dying, unfortunately. And a lot of college is kind of just designed to have you trapped and having you stuck in that working class. Now, when you're not in school, you don't have a massive debt to pay off. It's a lot easier to take the risk, which is why they still, even now knowing this, will push the college agenda, because they know once you get into that debt, once you get into the school system, you cannot afford to just take that risk anymore to work for yourself, to be able to do that, because you got bills to pay, you got student loans now. But that's kind of just some food for thought that I wanted to leave you with. But when it comes to college, it really is, in my opinion, a scam, and not in the traditional sense of like, hey, I'm scamming you, this is like backwards, but more so of like, if you're not going to use it, you're going to lose it, and you're just wasting your time, and time is really of the essence while you're on this earth. But definitely a nice video. I like to create these deeper ones as well for you guys, just something I wanted to spitball with y'all. But if you like this video, this type of discussion, be sure you do end up liking this. Throw down a comment in the comment section below. Throw in some controversy if you want to. Stir up a little bit of discussion. I don't see any action going on in the comments nearly enough. But this is going to be your Uncle Lester. Peace and out.
Come on, psycho, this way.